I'll start now. Hey everybody, welcome to RevolutionEcchs part the 13th, I guess, special video. Uh, got back from Loscon a few days ago. You're probably gonna notice in this video my mouth doesn't match my words, and that's because my camera is kind of shitty. But it's the same camera I got a couple years ago when someone said, "Hey, Sundance, you need a camera, but mine's shitty. I'll send you that one." And I'm like, "Yeah, my camera broke. Send it to me." So this is that one. It's not the same one that Joanna sent me. It's the one someone else sent me. But anyways, on to Loscon. As everyone is pretty aware, Loscon is on Thanksgiving weekend every year. Uh, for the last five, it's been at the LAX Marriott next to the airport. And well, this year I was going to get a room for at least one night. I was going to stay at the Super 8 on Airport Boulevard. Um, we'll get to that little bit of genius later. But first things first, I arrived there Thursday. Well, Thursday, Kevin called me and said, "Hey, come downstairs." So I did. Grabbed my stuff, went downstairs. Him and Carl drove me over to Loscon, and little memory lanes going past the shopping center where me and Greg Clark, bless you, Greg, I love you, man. Um, where me and Greg Clark had to buy me new pants because my pants had ripped up the sides. And once again, my pants starting to rip that way. My pants always seem to rip that way. It's right at the back where it would normally be under my heel because they sometimes they're too long for me and they roll down if I keep them rolled up. Usually I just pull them up. But anyways, that was memory lane. So we arrived at con, and well, things started happening. We had to set up the rooms. We went to I set up art show for 4 hours, two separate hours, four on 2 separate hours, 2 hours, and worked in a little bit everywhere, kind of. Whoever needed help that day, so I was kind of opening doors, moving stuff around, that kind of thing. But Thursday night came around and people started arriving. They didn't have my badge though. I did not have a pass along. There were only a couple pass alongs from last year's times. They were Kevin, Shauna Linker, Connor Foss, and I think Sundance McKinney. And I'm pretty sure that's it. That was just that four. And they had three and not mine. So, well, I mean, I talked to Drew about it. Drew says, "Fuck, they never have me bypass," and I'm like, "Well, you barely work anyways." He's like, "Yeah." So and for those of you who don't remember Drew or have never met Drew, Drew is the baddest kid at Loscon. A couple years ago, he was like smoking on dope, and as my uncle would say, picking fights, breaking stuff. He's not the one who broke the mirror behind the Loscon elevator. He's really pissed that year. But but yeah, Drew was the baddest kid at Loscon, as was described by one of the pirate kings of Loscon, Martin Young. But he said he never gets a pass on anyway, so I was like, yeah, but I have no money to pay for it. So they got my pass along the next day, but I slept at the teen lounge. Sleeping at teen lounge is cold as all fuck, and I mean all fuck. It is. It gets warm after the day at about after everything's been closed at about midnight when the lights are still on, and you turn off the lights around 2 or 3 because we're still setting up, but we weren't really setting up because we didn't have our systems yet. It's Zoinks, it's time, cat, and so we had to wait till Friday for the rest of our stuff. But Thursday night it was me, and I think it was me and Lee. Um, I don't remember if anyone else was in there. But we slept the night, and about about 5:30 in the morning, the staff comes into the teen lounge, and well, they they take out the trash. and they change the water, and they make sure everything's okay. And I say, oh yeah, everything's fine. You go. And as soon as they open that door to come in, though, the room dropped 15 to 20 degrees. It was horrible. But Friday came, and our systems started arriving. We weren't open yet. We were. It took us a while to open. I think we opened at about 11 or 10 or 11 or 12 or maybe 1, somewhere in that 2 hour gap we opened, and and things started going pretty well. We checked a lot of games. We only lost one piece of equipment this year, and I think it was the well, I think it was my nunchuck. So whatever. Um, Loscon was rolling. Went to Con Suite. Got some sodas, drank some. Met up with a lot of people. A lot of people were there. Talked with Michael Pell. Is an older gentleman. It's pretty cool. Talked with Mona's friend. What was her name? I want to say her name was like Karen or something. She's kind of short, kind of pudgy, spiky hair, black hair. She's got glasses. She kind of talks like this, Mona. But yeah, Mona's friend, and she is very preggers, and she's got her man, and we saw her, and I didn't know she was preggers at the time. I just thought she was being Karen, but I found out she's preggers the next day. Uh, People were arriving all day. I bummed cigarettes off the same people I bummed cigarettes off last year. And Friday night rolls by, and it's finally time to party. Because at one point, Drew bought some Kessler, yeah. And I tried some, I didn't like it. I was like, but there was smoking to be had. I'll give you that. Um, Kessler I did not like, but uh, Friday went pretty well. We were running around the con. Uh, let's see. People were there, all sorts of people, all sorts of crazy people. Cats were running around. No, not this cat. Different cat. Actual cats. Actual people named Cat. Okay. Um, Ice cream social happened, and I'm not sure if we got the ice cream that was left over or if we got the ice cream from some of the wing party. But Saturday night at around 1 in the morning, I came into the team lounge and there was like 3 5 gallon bins of or 3 gallon bins of ice cream, the kind you get at like in like the supermarket where it's like whoop, with the bucket. Yeah. But after Friday night there was some walking around. Then there was some sleeping. We slept, and everyone got up pretty early for Saturday. And here's why. Saturday morning, I wake up to someone opening the door, and it's the hotel staff, and they change the sheet. They change the trash and the water, and they go out, and then about 6:30 in the morning, someone comes in through the open unlocked door. Now this door is not supposed to be locked. It doesn't latch. We know it didn't latch 2 years ago when we started using the room. We know it still doesn't latch now, but it does latch when you really try to force it to latch. Um, but it typically swings open. That's how we get them out of the room if we have to pee or anything and someone's asleep, or if we have to leave for a minute. But we're not supposed to do that because, well, it's dangerous. We shouldn't let anyone in. But no one knows the damn thing's open except for the hotel staff. See, once in a while they leave it unlocked anyways, and they say, "Oh, you're just in here? Okay, we'll leave it unlocked." And what I found out later was that hotel staff was not allowed to come into our rooms without our permission. They were not supposed to at all. But they were just collecting trash and changing the water, getting us new water. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of welcomed it. I was like, hey, yeah, come to the trash, get the water, and well, you know. So so about 6. I guess. Someone comes in and opens the door and wanders through and opens the partition between Teen Lounge and gaming, and then goes into gaming and turns on the light. And I'm like, who was that? And Lee's like, I don't know. Who was that? And I'm like, he went into gaming. He's like, yeah. So we assumed it was someone from gaming staff, and we started waking up. I guess we barely got any sleep, but at least we got some. You get if you get about 3 to 4 hours of sleep, you could probably get up and fight the world again, right? Yeah, right. Sure, Sundance, sure. So we got up and began opening Teen Lounge, and I started to open a little earlier than yesterday because, well, that kind of sucked yesterday. But we opened and checked out some games. People started walking around the con when we had little people, or coming back when there's more. And one point when I'm checking out a game, I'm standing there with Scott the Jester and an old woman who goes to gaming every year. There used to be two old women. I don't know if there still are. I didn't see the other one. She might have passed. I think they were sisters. If they weren't sisters, they might be the love that dare not speak its name. But they're always doing gaming in the back, and they're always willing to teach new people, and they're always willing to role play. But she came roaming through in her little rascal, and she says, "Hey, who's in charge of gaming? Are you in charge of gaming?" And I said, "No, I'm in charge of Teen Lounge. Teen Lounge is not part of gaming. We both answered the same count." She said, "Well, who's in charge of gaming?" And I said, "Heidi Adelaide. Adelaide. She's a larger blonde woman with glasses." And she said, "Well, that narrows it down," which because she was one too. But and I said, "Well, you'll have to talk to Concom." And I'd say, "Well, give me a second because I got to check out this game." And so I checked out the game, and I went back to her, and I said, "Well," and by then she was already gone. She had rascaled out of the room. Those things go fast, man. I saw Marshall Minsky on one. Dude, I walk pretty fast when I need to, but she was beating me. She was like, but Scott apparently helped escort her to Concom to talk to them, and Bert comes rocking up a little bit later. And Bert Bowden is ops, Concom, that kind of thing. And I'm going to continue that in video part 2.